Patreons, welcome back to the Spotlight. This is our opportunity to talk to awesome creators and people in the pop culture and the geek world. And we've got a cool guest tonight, someone that we're all meeting for the first time. Andy Crocker is joining us on the program. Andy, how are you this evening? This afternoon, where you are, kind of, I
I'm
suppose.
great. I'm super hyped to chat. A little nervous because you all have a deep knowledge of many things.
Everybody knows something about something, so you're doing fine.
True.
But I am joined, if you're not watching us on the video, I'm joined by our SFU regulars, Mark and Peter. Gents, how are you?
Peter, go first.
Okay, very good.
Smooth as silk.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's get the
I am good as well.
Yeah, let's get the ball rolling. I always like to start by simply starting at the beginning. It's like, how did you get into the creative world? You've done so much different kinds of things and creative endeavors. How did you get started in the creative world? What's your origin story?
Oh, hell yeah. I love this question. Thank you for not being like, please define a sarlacc.
I mean, I could ask that next if you want.
Big guy, scary mouth. So my creative origin. So I mean, here's the thing: is like, if you want to go all the way back, like I'm the kid that like put on plays at the dining room table and made everybody watch it. Like, you know, since I could talk, I was like making stuff up and putting on shows. And I wanted to be a director since I was like 15. I basically haven't stopped making shows of some kind my whole life, but I'm only in my like past, couple of decades, I'm older than I appear, have been able to really make the stories that I want to, which are like often in strange shapes. So I went from traditional theater to television casting and theater casting, and then have spent the past chunk of years creating immersive experiences and telling stories live and in very strange shapes, sometimes in theme parks, sometimes in dark alleyways, sometimes in a museum, and sometimes right behind you. Oh my God, don't look. There's an immersive experience sneaking up behind you.
What? Oh my goodness.
And, libraries and various institutions. But I think the kind of common thread is like telling stories in odd shapes since I was able to put words together, probably.
That is the name of the episode, Telling Stories in Odd Shapes. Boom. I love it. That is awesome. Good deal. Good deal. Mark, please.
Yeah. So I know one of the things that you got, and maybe we should start by including some of the, let's start here. Let's start with some of the projects you've worked on. You've mentioned big, small. Can you give us an example of a few? Because I want to ask about one in particular, but I want kind of a broad spectrum first.
Set it up.
I will say I'm probably best known. I'll do some smallies and some biggies. So in terms of experiential work, my first sort of thing that made people know that this is the kind of work we did was my husband and I, we have a company called Mr. and Mischief, and we created a Samuel Beckett themed escape room called Escape from Godot, which was a production of Waiting for Godot that you had to solve puzzles to try to get through and out of as quickly as possible.
Whoa.
Based a little bit on both of our very different feelings about existentialism. And then, so that we did we thought it would be really funny, and we staged it for 24 hours and it ran on and off for like 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, Whoa. It was like this is the dumbest idea ever. We should try it. And then it sort of changed the course of our lives, and enough people saw it and sort of started talking about it that it led to this other work. And then most recently, I'm the immersive performance director for Ghost Town Alive at Knott's Berry Farm, which is a 50-actor immersive all-day experience in an Old West town. And then probably the reason why I'm here is I also was the immersive performance director for the original cast of Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. Wow. Thus my fear of you asking me to define a sarlacc.
Was there a Sarlacc in it?
God, I tried.
We
How did
can
they get it
take
in there?
care of the definitions of Star Wars creatures. I want to ask you, especially I just got back from a trip to Disney World.
Oh,
I
glow
am
about
like
you? Is that glow that you have?
I still have that kind of like, I'm not quite pasty homeless ghost white. I'm
Congratulations.
a slight shade darker. I can still fill in for a lighthouse if they put me on the corner and take my shirt off, but we'll try to avoid that tonight. But I'm like a week back. So this is all fresh in my mind. And Batu, I was there 2 weeks after it opened back in 2019. Loved that experience. Loved going back. Even a few years later, letting it sink in, seeing, stories and stuff on Instagram and following the people that we do and talking to the people that we do, it's still wildly impressive how immersive an experience that is with everyone. Like you said, in the Knott's Berry Farm thing, that 50 plus actors. I'm sure there's that or more in Galaxy's Edge as well, and I'm sure it was similar in Galactic Star Cruiser, even though I didn't make it on there. So I want to kind of get a sense of the internal discussions, because this is something that Disney had not done, to my knowledge. They've had theme parks, of course, forever, but never something as immersive where people were in there, in canon, every day, in character. If you go to Toy Story Land, no one's pretending to be a toy and screaming, Andy's coming and dropping every 15 minutes. Like some people, I think they do that in a restaurant.
Except some of them do, right?
And some of them will, if you scream it. Like some of them will play along, but like it's not an ingrained thing. This was the first kind of world that I think Disney had done. And not only doing it with Galaxy's Edge, but doing it with Galactic Star Cruiser. What, if you can talk about it, what were the internal vibes like? Was it kind of like gung ho?
No, I should change up my joke. I should be like, that's worse than asking me the difference between a holocron and coaxium. I'm just gonna say all the Star Wars words like all together, but not connecting.
Yeah.
So what would I say to that? I mean, here's the deal: is that I was not a part of Galaxy's Edge, though I share a lot of creative DNA with a lot of the people that worked on all sorts of projects. I've worked on Blue Sky stuff for departments at that large company that are still under NDA that I shall never speak of, because Mickey could bust through the door and tell me to
wait, he's behind you.
Not even through the door. Comes through the wall like the Kool-Aid man.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
And then it's like not so hidden Mickey shape.
You're going down, pal. Like that is terrifying. Yeah.
But I will say, like, I've worked for that company in several capacities and they were familiar with my work, but I really did just come on in terms of, working on a Star War, I was really there for Galactic Star Cruiser only, and really was there to direct the live performance aspects of it, because I have a particular expertise in what I like to call like imagination assistance, and like training actors to be able to pass the baton to guests and back and forth in an unscripted way, which is really tricky with IP that people care very deeply about.
Oh God, I can't imagine.
Yeah, so I, will say I like very specifically was brought in for that kind of work. So I wasn't there for the building of Batu, but because immersive is immersive and they all touch each other and they all feed into each other and they all speak to each other, and you want it to be as integrated as possible, though I didn't help design those things, they were a part of my life for this whole project. The vibes, I think, depends on what year. Making a thing this big takes a really long time. And this one spanned like through lockdown, right? Through all of COVID. It was a long process. So if you ask someone what the vibe was at the beginning, at the end, at the during, at the, year anniversary of the announcement of the close, I mean, everyone kind of memorializes all of these steps. The vibes are very different. And I think, sorry, I feel like I'm talking forever, but I also am very
no. This is interesting. It's super interesting because that's a good point, and and kind of something that I wanted to know with the vibe question is what I was getting into. While I'm guessing, being involved with the actors, directing the immersion experience, was there on your end or on the actor's end any kind of doubt about that experience of when you saw the prices and the way they were going about things? Was it like, oh, okay, we've got our work cut out for us, or was it just like, we're going to give it our all, doesn't matter on that side of things?
This is a great question, and it's so personal, right? Because for me personally, part of the reason, like, what was a little bit freeing about this job and about working in themed entertainment in general is like, it's never going to say Andy Crocker presents Star Wars. Like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people work on the project, and they all have their own area of expertise, and we all have to work together, and rising tide and all that. So yeah, would I maybe do something different in the marketing department? Sure. Is that my area of expertise? Nope. I think in order to keep one's sanity, especially with the amount of pressure that's on any large project, but specifically something that has Star at the beginning of it, whether it's Trek or War, or Star of the Rings. I tried to fit Lord of the Rings.
Gate would be the other one if you wanted to pull in another star.
Thank you. I think you have to do your best and work with everybody and respect people's area of expertise. And it's sure easy to be an armchair Imagineer even when you're there, but it's not the best use of your energy when we have so much to do.
I get that. So everyone was just kind of staying in their lanes and letting people, and you, of course, you try.
You're working.
You see things come in,
and you just are. I mean, I would say, like, it was a tremendous amount of pressure, and there was so much to do. Like, we all, and I really believe in the work. I believe in immersive experiences. I believe that participatory experiences, not just immersive, are like incredibly powerful, and those performers are fantastic and generous and creative, and that stuff is really beautiful, and I never doubted that. Like, that's a hunch that I would bet all my money on, is like, this kind of work is powerful. Do I work in marketing? No. Do I even work in lighting design? No. Do I even program a saber? I do not. But I do help people connect with each other in real time and have big feelings and think big thoughts. And yeah, I think when I was in space, that was the general thing, is like, we are gonna build this big, beautiful thing.
Awesome. And we've had several guests on our Star Wars show, Holocron Chronicles, and several people who have gone or had gone to Galactic Star Cruiser, and the universal thing people would talk about, like you said, be armchair marketers or Imagineers, but the universal thing was that it's so immersive. The actors are all on point all the time. They're the best people. They're in character, but they're still helpful. They're involving you. And from my experience, like you said, participatory experiences, building my lightsaber the first time I went to Galaxy's Edge.
That's always there? Did you put it there just for
building my droid? I have props ready to go.
It's my first time seeing it.
First time seeing the droid. Yeah, this is my new guy. So like building those participatory experience are incredible. So it's got to be super rewarding. Even like, we had a guest on when the announcement came that it was closing, and it was like,
ooh, I should listen to that episode.
It was only talking about the great experiences with the cast and that kind of stuff, and it was the higher up decisions that were like, but like, hearing about the people who were involved, and interacting with people was something that we heard from a couple of people that was just off the charts. So
Well, and what
yeah, thumbs up there all the way.
Hey, Secret Friends Unite, let me tell you about Zencaster. We use them for our show, and now they're supporting us. Zencaster is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. Provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Being a creator has never been easier. And we chose Zencaster because of the ease of use, high quality output, and it makes it super easy for our guests to come on. We had multiple solutions we tried before, and Zencaster has just been the best fit for us. Why Zencaster? It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencaster. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sounds and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencaster's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Have you ever worried what you sound like? Zencaster's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with a click of a button. So if you're interested in making an easy, high-quality podcast just with the click of a browser button, go to Zencaster.com/pricing and use my code SFU1. You'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Now back to the show.
Thanks. I didn't come here for compliments, but I'll take them. But
Right.
hold on, there's just to pause. I don't know, as there's something is saying that I have an error. So hold on one second. Oh, I don't need to back this up. You're backing this up. Okay. Sorry.
Yes, you're good. All right.
No, and I would say to all of those people that loved Star Cruiser, if they're listening to this or are like super sad that they didn't get to go, and like I believe in those experiences regardless of IP. If someone was like, we're gonna make a Rapunzel immersive experience, or I don't know, a Donna Reed show immersive experience, I'm the only person that would that. But like the power is, I think, in the connection, and the IP certainly helps that and gets people really excited, and I cannot deny that. But I do want to give like some hope to the people that are grieving that this piece isn't there, is that there are so many brilliant performers and practitioners of this kind of work that are out there making stuff all the time. And I hope everyone goes and consumes it with the same passion that they felt for all of the star things.
All of the star things. Awesome. Peter.
While you're talking, I thought of another question that I had. Since you're doing the directing specifically for the actors on how to keep on point, I'd have a tiny tangential relation with that when I have to dungeon master, because you have to.
That is not tiny.
Well, the way I do it is how I see it, but like, I mean, I've played Hondo Onaka to annoy my players, so it's like I have some of that. But how do you approach that of like like my players are always trying to like trip me up, which when it's against Hondo, that's just a bad idea. Like that character can always bounce back. But when you're going through with actors how to stay in character, bounce back, and keep it a real performance, what are some of the tips that you give?
Well, I think some of it is in the design of the experience itself, right? Which is like, do people have the space to play as gently or as aggressively as their taste is? Like when I go to an immersive experience, regardless of like theme, or even when I'm playing like, tabletop role-playing games, which I'm relatively new at, but anyway, I love it.
One of us. Okay.
Is that I don't play very far from myself. I'm not a chameleon. So like I'm usually like a loudmouth thief, like shocker, or like a bard that talks a lot. Like what? I'm not Meryl Streep, right? So like I'm not going to disappear into a role. And that needs to be as valid as someone who's going to like completely do cosplay head to toe and like come back over and over. And like the thing needs to be designed to hold space for both of those kinds of players. And then the performers, and sometimes they're a little bit DM and sometimes they're also like just playing in the world. They have to be able to kind of read the room, sounds like very general, but like take the temperature of like how much can I give away in this moment? How much can I pass the baton over to you? And have we built a relationship enough to know like you're going to pass it back to me? And that's like this blend. I talk about this a lot, like put this on my gravestone, is like confidence and generosity, which is like I have to be confident enough in the story we're telling and generous enough to let you participate. And if I do that and I let you help make it, then you're probably less likely to break it. But that's in the design as well as the performance. I should have written that down and like put it in a book. That sounded nice. Oh well.
Oh boy.
It's gone forever.
Well, it is recorded. You can now go back and transcript it.
You're going to be in good shape. Yeah.
Got it.
Committing it
So
for all time.
I do talk about, whenever I talk about this work, I do talk about confidence and generosity, but oftentimes that people think that I mean in the directing or in the DMing, but it's also in the performance and it's also in the playing. It's like,
yeah. Awesome.
In the Art of Gathering, I think she calls it, I want to get this right, but I'm not going to Google. I think she calls it like generous authoritarianism or something like that. Like you have to like be rigid in the things that are rigid and generous in all the ways you don't have to be.
Wow.
I like that.
I love it.
I didn't.
All right, I have a question. So reading your resume, all your experiences, which is expansive and spectacular. One that caught my eyeball. You are the creator in residence at the Los Angeles Public Library. What does that entail? What does that look like? And the residency's actually just concluded. It was an amazing experience because who doesn't love libraries besides fascists? No. Everyone loves a library. Everybody.
Pretty much. And it was a really beautiful experience. And I found that, so what I did, sorry, did you ask me what I did? This is what I did.
Maybe I did.
Creators in Residence program is a partnership with the Los Angeles Library Foundation and LA Public Library. They fund 2 creators a year to create work inspired by and using the library. And so I was one of them for last year, and I created a series of site responsive pieces in small branches across the city. So 6 installations and 2 audio pieces that would get people into the branch playing pretend. And it was this fun hybrid of, it was like the gentlest of role playing, but you do it by yourself. So you'd check out a little kit and it would give you instructions. You're basically, if we're going to use like TTRPG terminology, like you're the DM and the player sort of solo play.
Yeah, the solo RPG
yeah,
stuff.
it's like a little bit of very gentle, but using the space of the library as your set. So each one had a different genre. So you were like one half of a pair of star-crossed lovers and you left too many words unsaid, so you had to collect them from around the library and write a little letter. One of them, you work for a government agency that finds appropriate housing for tiny creatures that live in the library, and you had to find them safe spots to live. And you sort of uncover dioramas as that happens of where they do live. One of them,
awesome.
you're in the future in a recreation of a library trying to learn what life was like. So there's a sci-fi one, and I'm forgetting. Oh, and then there's a ghost story in our local one where you're a ghost that's haunting the library and you have to remember how you died.
Yes.
So cool. When you said ghost story, I instantly thought of something different, and you just like smacked. I've been watching Ghosts on Paramount Plus.
That's exactly where my brain went too.
Fantastic
show. Nailed it. Yeah.
Awesome.
This one, you are a ghost. You get to be a ghost.
Yeah, that's great.
It gets you to like and all of them are very obviously, because it's a library, the whole point was to design it that you got to play as hard as you want, but that you couldn't disturb anybody. So in the ghost one, it's like, don't let anybody see you. You're a ghost. Please walk quietly to the corner.
I just think of the ghost in the library in Ghostbusters. That's my ghost experience.
And even her,
Yeah.
I mean, I was facing some of my own trauma with that one because that scared the living crap.
Rah! Get her. Good thinking, right?
Terrifying. Terrifying.
Oh, Mark,
Amazing.
last swing for you. Go for it.
Yeah. You know what? This is kind of you already mentioned one with Rapunzel, and you had another one that is escaping my mind right now. But
how get Donna Reed?
Sorry,
Oh,
yes,
boy.
Donna Reed. So are there any other franchises, worlds, things that you think would work well, or you would love to see in an immersive experience similar to like a Galaxy's Edge, or what they're doing at Universal right now with monsters, or
And Star Trek,
with
and
dragons
Star Trek.
and all that kind of stuff?
And Star Trek.
Are there any other worlds that you would love? Back to the Future?
That's what's happening at Universal right now, which is starting
Awesome.
Friday.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So I have like the expansiveness of like a Star Cruiser or a Ghost Town Alive, like a biggie.
Yeah.
What-
Yeah. Biggie.
what-
Whole
what do I
whole
want to go
area. Yeah.
or work.
What was it?
Do I want to go to it or do I want to work on it?
Yes.
Okay. I would say, well, I will caveat this by saying last year I got to do one of them. We worked on a kid detective immersive experience. That was like my dream, not the movie Kid Detective, which is very bleak and wonderful. But like a Nancy Drew jam. I'm a Nancy Drew girly. What would I want to do that's like big and expansive? This is a really good question, because something like those big genre pieces like Starship Troopers I love, but like I wouldn't want to play in that world.
Oh no, that's the way it went in that movie.
Like
Starship Troopers, Lethal Company. Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
it sounds horrible. So I'm trying to think
Absolutely.
of one that I would actually want to be in. You know what? Can I just be like really nerdy and obscure?
Yeah.
I guess
That's what we're doing.
I think the world I would want to play in and maybe work on would be The Adventures of Pete and Pete, Nickelodeon's 90s. It was like Twin Peaks, but for kids. Deeply weird, Toby Huss, like surreal, playful, and surprising. I would love to like go on an adventure with those dudes somehow.
Oh my god!
Awesome. Now is that your answer for both? You'd like to work on it? You'd love to go to it?
No. I would love to work on a Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Ooh, all right.
What's our word today?
Oh.
I know.
Well,
anything that we blew up. Oranges.
I was just gonna say oranges, because that's yeah.
Yeah, thank you for not saying immersive, because like that has lost all meaning.
Oh, it's like nuance. Say
Yeah.
nuance. Oh my goodness. Peter, your last swing.
So one of the things that was mentioned in some of your newer projects is that you're working on one with marionettes and puppets sort of thing. So if you'd like to tell us a little bit about that, and then also tangentially, to keep it weird and topical, because that's what I like to do, what do you think about doing a Star Wars short with puppets like Thunderbirds?
Okay, well, first of all, I have to answer the second part first, because like take my money. like what? That sounds amazing. Because also like we didn't really get into like my own Star Wars. Like my tastes do not line up with other people's Star Wars tastes. Turns out, like give me that holiday special, man. I'm into it.
We all have a little piece of that holiday special.
We've got a seat for you. Charlie has threatened me that we need to cover the Star Wars holiday special
this fall.
this year.
We've been doing our Holocron show for almost 5 years, and that's one of the things we've not tackled. Might be in touch with you this fall. Bring you on back.
Try to stop me from being there.
Okay, all right.
That's as firm a commitment as we need.
Amazing. So first of all, yes to Star Wars Thunderbird situation. You've got my number. I feel very seen, first of all. Second of all, I spent some time this year working with the Bob Baker Marionette Theater out here in LA. They've been around, this is forever, basically. 60 years, 65 years.
Wow.
I should know this. Sorry, Mary in the press department. But they are a beautiful, vintage, quirky marionette theater, and I was working with them on developing their first new show since 1981.
Oh wow.
As a creative facilitator, really just like having wonderful, fun conversations like this and sort of molding it into what the next iteration of their theater could be. And I think it's not dissimilar to working with an IP like Star Wars or anything that people feel deeply about, is like maintaining the nostalgic core, but keeping it relevant and bringing new folks in. And it's a really delicate thing that I feel very reverent about. Stuff that people have grown up with and have big feelings about. I feel it needs to be honored, but I also know that time only moves in one direction. Until we get a real DeLorean time machine. So that was a little bit of my work with them, and you should follow them on all their social medias to find out the state of that. I'm not the director on it. I just was working with them, bringing in some of my knowledge of interactive experiences and caretaking of IP and things people love.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
Oh my God, this has been incredible. My God, thank you for sitting down with us. Tell us about, we've covered a lot of stuff that's ongoing, but tell us some other projects you have coming up that you can talk about without Mickey coming through like the Kool-Aid Man.
No, NDA Mickey Kool-Aid Man.
Name of the episode.
So the first thing I would say, I'm really excited about my new friendship with all three of you, and how you're going to invite me to watch the holiday special. So that's
oh my God, it's going to be so great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm always cooking up something with Mr. and Mischief. We've got lots of strange little projects popping up all over the place. So folks should sign up for our newsletter and our Instagram, because that's where we drop stuff. And if people are in LA, we often are play testing with folks, so people can sign up to just come test new games and interactive experiences with us. And I wish I had something like to seriously promote other than our friendship, but sorry, that's what you get.
Oh boy,
we'll take it.
We took this magical journey to discover friendship. We're hoping, if two, maybe three of us, that we'll all be at Star Wars Celebration in LA in April of 27. That's what we're hoping.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna see. I know my wife is motivated because that's her birthday week, and that's what she wants to do. What? It's crazy. I'm looking forward to it. This has been terrific, Andy. Thank you so much.
I think we can all agree that the real Sarlacc was the friends we made along the way.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
100%.
I don't even have anything to say to follow that up, except Patrons.
Cheers to that one.
Patrons, thank you for joining us. If you're listening to this after we publish it on the wide world, find all of Andy's stuff, but also visit patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Get to try us out for a week for free. Your first year could be 50% off, and then you stay on board. Your first month can be 50% off. Whoa, oh my God.
I was just going to say, man.
And
you guys are getting generous with those promotions.
I know. I love it. We're just trying to see who we can get. And then you can stay on board for as little as $2 a month. This has been great. I have been Charlie. Our guest has been Andy. And you're here with Mark and with Peter, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much. Keep on trekking. May the Force be with you. Nanu Nanu. Good night.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member, get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on Threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.